if I can say that they remind me of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going.
Hey everybody, what's up? What's up?
It's BlerdTalk with Bola and Whitney.
Whitney, what kind of voice is that?
I don't know.
What kind of voice is that? I was like, that
I feel
sounds
like it's like a
old
sports
school.
announcer.
Yeah, it's like goofy announcer or like a goofy game host or something from the 90s.
Yeah.
Be like, wild and crazy kids, or what would you do? That was great. Hey everybody, it's your Triple F Queen Bola here, and Whitney, of course, as she said so funnily. That's not a word, but anyway. And we are BlerdTalk, y'all. How y'all doing?
How y'all doing, y'all?
What's up? What's up? Okay, so this is gonna be dropping on a Thursday, but today,
Look at us, y'all. We actually got it on time this month.
yes, we're so happy. We are very happy to be dropping it on time.
I don't know what. Sorry, you guys. If you hear any background noise, neighbor is mowing the grass. Not ideal for us. Hopefully, with these mics, since they're dynamic mics, you got to kind of be right up on them to get like a good pickup. So hopefully you don't hear it. But if you do,
I'm gonna be right up on it.
Apologies.
I'm gonna be right up on it. Stop.
But it's time for Animaniacs, and we're zany to the max. So just sit back and relax.
I was like, where did that come from?
I don't know. For some reason, I was thinking.
I used to love that show,
I mean,
but I was
loved
like,
Animaniacs as well.
I was like, don't call them rats. I used to love them. The one with the little accent, the little, I don't know which one was my favorite.
Wacko, Yakko, and Dot.
Yes, and I love Dot because she was the only girl. But I also liked Wacko because I think he was the crazy one. But
Yes,
he just had a really cool accent that I just loved them. I love that show.
I love that show too. I
What
really
possessed you to bring that up?
I was watching something recently. Oh, I was watching YouTube, and I think I was watching what is it, like Mojo TV or something?
Mojo Jojo.
Mojo Jojo
From Powerpuff Girls.
And I will defeat the Powerpuff Girls because they will be defeated by me.
Man, I love all the shows that came out. Johnny
I know.
Bravo and everything.
Oh my God.
I used to live for those shows.
Oh yeah, but it was like the top something shows of the 90s, and they were going through. And I clicked on it because nostalgia, which is why what we're doing today. Ready Player One, by the way, you guys.
Yes, nostalgia is the theme.
But they preyed upon all of my nostalgia, like every few seconds. You're like, oh my god, it's so and that. But I was watching a YouTube video, and they were talking about the top 10 cartoons that premiered in the 90s. And I think that's why it was on my mind, because Animaniacs was on there. There's a bunch of stuff on there. Apparently Powerpuff Girls premiered in the 90s as well, I believe. But yeah, I know all of the lyrics to the Powerpuff Girls song.
Oh my gosh.
Blossom, Commander, and the leader, Bubbles. She has the joy and the wonder, Buttercup. Hey, she's the toughest fighter. Powerpuff save the day. Fighting crime, trying to save the world. Here they come just in time. The Powerpuff Girls. Powerpuff.
You know my favorite one is Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh my God, I love Dexter's
Because
Laboratory.
I used to love that low, deep voice, and because I can really go low with my voice too sometimes. So I'd be like, Dexter's Laboratory. He's the smartest boy you've ever seen. But Dee blows his experiments to smithereens. There's gloom and doom while things go boom in Dexter's lab. I used to get I was such a dramatic kid. I should have been in theater or something. I loved it. I loved the crazy and the extraness of the guy's voice was so
Yes, it was like the golden age of cartoons.
I did like opera though, like Andrea Bocelli. I love you.
I would like to see opera. Me and my mom bought tickets to the opera 2 years ago. or a year and a half.
Like a real opera?
Yeah, like a real one.
I love operatic voices.
We've got the opera in Richmond. What are they called? The Virginia Opera.
I didn't know that we had one.
Yeah. But
I didn't think anybody listens to.
Oh, yeah. People still love the opera. But they were actually doing, they were going to do Aida. And now granted, it probably would have been very, very different, but I had been like listening to the soundtrack from Aida, the Broadway show, like the, I forget what the composer's name is, but I love all the music. And even though it would not have the same music, I was like, that story, I'm at least halfway familiar with the story, so maybe I would enjoy this, considering that it's probably not going to be in English. I kind of know what was going on. So, like, well, I don't know. That's not necessarily true. I was watching a YouTube video talking about how not all operas are in Italian.
Or German.
I thought they were Italian.
Some of them are in German, too.
Oh, okay.
Although, never mind. I was just thinking about how there's a Nigerian cartoonist and animator who I just love watching her clips and things. And so she had done one recently where it's like all the nations, they were all agreeing on what word to keep the word hospital in their language. And so it's like, I think England is going along with all the countries, and they're like, okay, so, France will be like hospital, Spain is like hospital. All of them have a variation of hospital that you can get. And then they came to Germany, and Germany was just like acting a little kind of frantic and stuff. And it was just like Sprachenhaus. It was like, is that the word for hospital? And I might have said it wrong. Forgive me, anyone who speaks German. But I just thought it was hilarious because I was just like, yes, the language always sounds so harsh to me. But sometimes certain voices can make it sound softer. I remember I liked listening to there was a German band called Tokyo Hotel.
Oh.
Back in the day, yeah. I remember Scream. Back in my emo days. But I remember listening to Bill Kaulitz, who's the lead singer, him and his twin brother. And they had two other guys in the band. But his twin brother actually now is married to Heidi Klum.
Oh.
Yeah, she went, after Seal, she just went lower. She's like, I need a youngin'. So
I'm
now.
a back youngin'. Woo, woo.
Yes, because they're younger. They're like a year younger than us. So.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, Bill Kaulitz, because of his voice, when he spoke German, I just was like, okay, this language don't sound that bad. It don't sound that harsh. So some people's voices can make it sound.
I feel like there was an episode of like USA High where like Christian was once again like he was chasing Winnie for that entire show.
Oh my gosh, you watched USA High?
Yes, girl. Yes, I know it's so rare to find.
We really watched a lot of TV.
We did. We like this is why we're such good friends. Like,
oh my God.
and this is why we instantly like
Rockin'
connected.
USA High.
We're gonna be rocking it.
I was like, you remember the names, Christian and Winnie? I was like, as soon as you said their names, I was like, whoa, I see their faces in my head.
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't know anybody watched all these extra shows.
But that's
Did you ever watch S Club 7? With the British
I thought that
band?
was a show.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought
they
that
were
was a band.
And they were a show, too.
I don't think I watched the show.
Oh, the show was good.
Okay.
That was my favorite, like watching them. Because, Spice Girls were breaking up by that time. I was like, I need another British pop band. I need it. And so I watched them sing. It was 4 girls and 3 guys. And then they were really a band, and then they had them do a show here in America where they came to the U.S. and were like working in a hotel. They were like, we're going to make it in the U.S. But they were really like working in a hotel or something. It was so funny. I love that show. I was like, S Club 7. Anyway, I was watching a lot of British TV and different, like, I just watched a lot of stuff growing up. I didn't go anywhere. I went places with my media.
I mean, I also went places. A little bit because I played sports.
No, I mean
and
like I never went to other countries or anywhere, but I went places with the media. Gotcha. I went to New Zealand. I went to France. I was watching so much stuff.
I pretty much stuck to America and wherever the animes were taking place.
That's true. But you learn a lot from the animes. Like the animes kind of teach about Japanese culture.
They do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like peeps. This is why we were like instant BFFs when we were rooming in college.
I'm not gonna lie. I remember when we saw you, and I saw your like you had already come and set up your room, and I was like in awe because I was like, oh my God. I looked around, I was like, oh my God. And I saw the Harry Potter books. I was like, oh my God, another Potterhead. I was like, oh my God, anime. I was like, we're gonna get along. Oh man, it was hilarious. Anyway, so Whitney, tell us what you're blurting out about today.
Ooh, let me think. Oh, so I am so excited because I introduced I just love, you know how I love introducing people to new TV shows or movies.
Mm-hmm. Or heavy suggestion, heavy pushing.
Twisting of the arm.
Yes, you're like, you're at my house, trap.
Come into my lair, said the spider to the fly.
I like that.
But yeah, so I got her started on Teen Wolf, and she actually really likes it.
You know I've been talking about that for a minute.
I was about to say exactly
you
that.
Always talk about Teen Wolf, like always.
Freaking Bola about Teen Wolf for years, and she refuses to watch it. So one of these days, I'm just going to trap her. I did start watching
it a long time ago.
It is so good. Like the stories are so good.
Is it still going on?
No. It ended a few years ago. I forgot when exactly, but the only thing I didn't watch the final season. I had started it over. You know how I am. I'm OCD. Mm-hmm. Like, if I haven't watched something for a while, I start all the way back at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Depending on what it is. Like, if I was trying to watch Grey's Anatomy now, I would not do that.
I wouldn't either. I have never seen one episode of Grey's Anatomy.
I saw all of them up to, like, season 12, I think.
Yeah, that's already too much. You went in the double digits.
And they've got, like, 22. Like, if it was, like, a...
Season 22?
No. Episodes per season. Because you know how, like, if it's, like, a streaming show, it's usually, like... between 8 and 13 episodes. But if it's like a broadcast network show, they've got like the 22 or 24.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like the lesser episode seasons.
They do.
Personally.
I feel like they're more concerned with telling a good story than trying to just stretch it out for ad dollars.
Yeah, plus all the fillers episodes sometimes that you get. Like right now, my sister's like rewatching The Flash. I need to finish season 7.
Oh, yeah.
The Flash is such a very good show.
It is.
Whitney, I wish you could get on board.
I actually had started
It's so much better than Arrow
it.
and all the other shows. Like The Flash to me is their standalone epic show that CW has ever put out. Like I really love The Flash. It's still going. I'm gonna be sad when it's gone, but I prefer it end well than continuing for no reason.
I agree.
Because even I felt like Arrow started off really strong, but then in the middle it just got muddled, and I fell off of Arrow.
I really liked Arrow. I fell off right around the time when he broke up with Felicity after his the thing with his son and all that, and I was like, I'm not really watching anymore.
And then they got back together, and then there was other stuff happening. And
I heard that it picked back up, but like it kind of just to like meander for me at that point, or maybe
the story was just weird. And then they had the DC Legends of Tomorrow spinoff that started off well, but then it also started getting weird as people were getting taken off each season and adding more new people this season.
Where are all the original? Where are the OGs?
Yeah, they were all going away, and I'm like, I'm not liking this anymore. So I stopped watching that too. But The Flash has never failed me. So yeah, my sister watched season 7 by herself because she's at home right now. So she watched season 7, binged it, and she was like, "I'm gonna restart." So now like her and my mom watch The Flash every day. I come home from work. They're watching The Flash or some Korean reality show. Most of the time it's The Flash, and she's picking up speed. She's on there.
Paying attention. I like your top that you have on.
Thank you. Y'all can't see it, but thank you. A chick went to work today. Office wear. So your mom liked Teen Wolf, basically.
She does. We just last night we finished the first season.
Okay.
So we'll be because it had 10. Maybe 12 episodes.
Cool. Your mom likes to watch all that kind of stuff with you.
Oh yeah, me and my mom have very similar tastes.
My mom won't watch what I like.
I am pretty much like a product. I mean, literally, I'm a product of my mom and dad. But I'm very similar to my mom. We have very similar tastes in movies and TV shows and stuff.
My mom watches whatever my sister likes, but she won't watch what I like.
But speaking of getting kind of a little bit back to Ready Player One, some of the references, I was like, Bola probably doesn't know what this is because just like H, just like scary movies,
We'll get into it. We'll get into Ready Player One. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, it is the second episode of our Video Game Month.
That's right. Yes. It is.
All right, but before that, I'm just going to blurt out very quickly. Whitney will probably be annoyed because I always talk about this person now. Everybody.
Is this Ben Barnes?
Yes, it is.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so today, not when you're hearing this, if you're hearing this on Thursday.
He can't have another birthday. He just had one.
No, today is his birthday.
But you were just saying last time.
No, I said last time his birthday is coming up. Today is his actual birthday.
Oh, my God. Oh my God.
No, my main thing I'm blurting out about is because So Ben Barnes is very talented. Everyone knows for his acting chops, but he can sing really well, and he plays 3 instruments. He plays the drums, pianos, and the guitar.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
One man rock band.
Yeah, he can. He picked up the guitar later on for a movie he did, but he's always known how to play the drums.
What movie?
And he's always known how to sing. He did like an indie kind of film with Katherine Heigl called Jackie and Ryan, I think.
Okay, never heard of it.
Yeah, it's like a indie. I haven't seen it either. Sorry, Ben. I know I'll be looking at all your stuff, but I haven't seen it yet. But I've seen clips of it where he played like a folky singer that kind of like a vagabond where they just kind of move around. Vagabond. And I love that word. Some words just like roll off you just like saying them. Like I like saying the word magnanimous. Magnanimous. And then vagabond's my other favorite word. But anyway, let me just blurt out quickly. But he's during the pandemic he was doing covers. Excuse me. He was doing covers of songs, and he's always been able to sing. He's always loved singing.
You all right?
Excuse me. Clear my throat. Let me clear my throat. My bad, y'all. Excuse me. So I was watching all these covers, and I was just like, I did not know how well he could sing until I started watching all these covers, and then I was joining his many, many fans. Like, there's too many. Like, I really want to make him my baby daddy, but I can't fight all these little chicks, man. Like, the older he gets, it's like the younger he accumulates fans, the younger they are. I'm like, how do you even? He's 40 now. Like, how do you even know? Anyway, all his shows are popular. That's why he's on everything popular. Shadow and Bone is a YA book, so naturally he's the Darkling, and so he has a ton of fans like that are like in the YA age group. Not me. I'm not in the YA age group, but I still love the books and love him. I'm a fan, so I have to fight too many people.
I'm curious. What is YA? What is the actual
age range? Is young adult, so it's like I want to say like 13 to like 18. That's what I think.
But a 13-year-old is not an adult.
That's what they call them, young adult.
But they're not even adult. That's still like I would say
they're
like
young.
18
I
to
feel like
25.
you're in the past puberty age group. I was gonna say pubescent, but that wasn't working. That's not the right word form there. Anyway, back to Ben Barnes. So I have been like, everyone's been waiting like, Ben, you should really you really need to make our music. You really make your own album, make your own songs, because he can play and sing so well. So he finally did it. Yeah. So he literally dropped that he has an album coming out. Oh. He even dropped like a video teaser and a clip of a song. Like, it's for real. He was really going for his dreams. And I'm not gonna lie, I really, really like support him for doing that, because, he's like 40. His acting career is doing well, but his passion from the beginning was to do music. Yeah, he was in a boy band back in the 90s in the UK. He was only in there for like 2 minutes. They had this one song, that really poppy song. He hates this video clip because he hated the band and he left as soon as they did the clip. But I like the song, actually. I'm like, it's very time appropriate. It sounds like all the other pop music of the era. So I was like, don't be ashamed of it, but he is. If anybody brings up Hyrise, he's just like, please don't bring up that clip. But I thought he looked cute. I thought he sounded like all the other boy bands in that song. And I was like, the song is actually not that bad, but he hates it. But that's the only time you see him singing. And he's always wanted to do music first. He thought that's what he was going to do, but then acting picked up. Okay. So, but now he always had that dream, and everyone encouraged him, and he writes too. So he wrote his own songs. And in the video clip we saw for his first song that's releasing, it's featuring Evan Rachel Wood from Westworld, because they're like really tight friends. Stop. So I was like, there's Westworld friends getting up in there too. And I like Evan Rachel Wood. She's very beautiful and it's like very good visual for music videos. So I'm just happy and excited for him. And plus I get to hear some new music. So I love music. So that's all I'm blurting up. Ben Barnes, happy birthday. Woo woo.
All right.
So it was really about his music. That whole blurred out. Okay, I'm done. I'm done talking about Ben Barnes. I feel like I devoted
you're really
all of our last few episodes just
I feel like we're not done with Ben Barnes.
Find me. All right. So we want to get into the episode for today?
Yeah, let's get into Ready Player One.
All right, y'all. So
now,
we watched it.
We know that it came out a while ago.
Yeah, 2018.
This is like the first time that we have watched it. I had not seen it previously. I had intended to because it's like, I mean, this is my kind of thing, honestly.
I know. I'm surprised you hadn't seen it already.
I had it like on my radar, but stuff starts coming out, and
Too
like
much.
there's so much stuff, and you're adding stuff to your list, adding
Plus,
stuff to your list.
I feel like Marvel kind of like overtook everybody's like focus. They just kept releasing things in the past few years, so it's kind of like, oh yeah, that's coming out. Oh yeah, that's coming out, and you forget about other stuff.
Yeah. But, like, there was so many freaking pop culture references all throughout this movie. It was like a smorgasbord of pop culture, like our pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like...
When I saw the giant...
Oh, my God.
Oh, are you okay? When I saw that giant, Whitney, I'm
all right, everybody.
She's okay, guys. She's okay. Ooh, Lord. What's going on?
Sorry, spit went down the wrong pipe.
Oh, see, that you can't control, and that's always like a reaction. You're just like, oh, shoot. But when I saw the big...
the Iron Giant.
Yes,
It's
that's
been
what it's called.
so long since I've seen the Iron Giant.
Yes, I was like,
and
man.
it reminded me of, like, nostalgia. And then, like,
Mhm.
I haven't seen it in, like, probably over 10 years. But, like... When H, as the Iron Giant, was, like, going into the lava, I was like, it did, like, the thumbs up. I was like, wasn't that, like, part of how it ended for the Iron Giant?
I don't remember, man.
I can't remember either, but I feel like that was a thing from, like, the movie, maybe.
Mhm.
But there was just,
so
like, many things in there.
And what I like that it was different. This one has a definitely more serious tone. So there was definitely an adventure going on, some issues going on. So it wasn't as, like, lighthearted and funny as
Free
our
Guy.
previous one was Free Guy, yeah. So one, this is a little later. Two, this one has this one, it was like, I feel like with Free Guy, they made the video game look like the real world, but in this one, it was like the real world looked like a video game, like the world that the movie took place in mostly, the majority of the time, looked like video game stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Not
as
like
far as the
Free Guy was a
rendering
video
and
game,
stuff,
and he looked like a
real person. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just really, I liked this movie. I have to say I liked it.
I liked it too.
At first I was just like, what's really going on here? And then I was just like, let me just go on the ride.
I mean, I was into it from the beginning. One thing though, I was like, the point where who was he in the game? Oh, Percival.
Yeah.
In the game,
Parsival,
Wade Watts,
Parsival.
Parsival. Okay. But like when he's in the game, and at like the certain point where he's like talking, what was the girl's name in the game? Artemis. He's like, I love you, Artemis. And I'm like, wonk, wonk. I'm like, dude, you've known her for like 2 minutes. I was like, I don't understand. At what point have you known her well enough or long enough to like fall in love? I don't understand. I felt like the love story was like unnecessary.
Okay, so let's like set it up so we people who didn't watch can understand what's going on with the film. So in this movie, it's way in the future, and I believe it's 2045 to be exact.
Yeah, I think you're right. 2045.
And like a bunch of crap has happened, and the real world is just like people are like checking out of the real world.
Yes,
they're so done
gotten
with
bad
it.
enough where they're like, I prefer to spend all my time in this virtual world.
Not to mention, this virtual reality game was created where everyone could just be and exist in the game
to get away from the bad stuff.
The real world, and honestly, from the real world, it's like you could be whatever you wanted. You could be whatever kind of character you wanted, and you could be a different gender. You can whatever, and then you just spend your time there doing stuff, playing games, whatever you wanted to do. It was available in this VR world, and it was created by somebody named Halliday, right? It was created by two people, but it became a big sensation where everyone was doing it.
And Halliday?
Yeah, Ogden and Halliday. And so the main thing is our main character, just like everyone else, he doesn't really like do anything in the real world. He doesn't have friends. All his only friend exists in the game, and he's never.
Which
seen
I
her
was
in person
also
before.
confused about, because I'm like looking at this movie, like I'm confused about the world that this movie existed in, because I'm like, so nobody got a job.
Thank you. Okay, so that's one of the issues I had with this film in the beginning, because I was like, what is going on with this world? Like, even the way it starts, you're just like, so how did they get all those trailers on top of each other, like a trailer tower? It was so odd
it was
to me
like
that
a trailer park tower. But like you're looking at
Yes.
all these people playing this game, and I'm like, so it's not. I mean, granted, you know, we're following a narrative, so the narrative's not going to go into like their whole life, but it's like it's making it seem like not many people actually have like a job. I'm like, how are people making money? Yeah, maybe that's why so many people are in debt to freaking IOI because nobody's working.
Yes, and then that's my other issue with the game. I did not understand the function of IOI that much, and I was like, what are they doing?
I think they were just a corporation, but it's just that they were so big that they had gotten to the point where they were just
why could they, like, people die? Like, one of the main characters said her father died because of them, and I was like, what? Why is he dying? Like, I still don't get it.
From what I understood, the corporation was so big that they would, like, I guess, take on people's debts.
But debt to what? If they were just playing the game, all their money and everything exists virtually.
Well, I guess whatever debts they built up in the real world, but since it was like maybe they owned like some financial institutions, so they could like own the debts of these people and then make
like people were more interested in collecting coin in Oasis the game than in real life. Like, yeah, take the main like characters.
Indentured servitude is what it looked like to me. / slavery. I'm like, how is this okay? Them. You know what they? Okay, sorry to skip all the way to the end, y'all. Like literally all the way to the end. But something that made me upset is at the end of the movie. I'm like, oh, now the cops show up. Where have y'all been this entire movie? When the freaking trailer park got blown up. And all this that is going down. But now, after everything is over, now y'all like, oh, yeah, we're going to come over here.
Not to mention, okay, see, so I'm just rolling through my negatives so we can talk about the good things. That was my other problem. So I did not understand how the IOI corporation was just, like, collecting people and, like I guess they were... To me, it sounded like they were making people in debt, borrowing, so they could do stuff in the game, and then they would just, like, make all their living expenses so high that they couldn't pay it, and then they would come and crush them.
Indentured servitude / slavery.
I don't even know. But then when his aunt died because the IOI were looking for him in the real world because he stupidly told her his name in the game. I don't know why he would do such a thing.
Well, anyway. I mean, I understood why he told her, but it's like...
In that area, though?
Everybody's here. Listening. Somebody could be like, listening on you, dude.
It was in such earshot. I'm like, you didn't even try to whisper that mess. Like, he just said, my real name's Wade. You know, I'm Wade, and everyone heard you. Like, bad guys heard you. But... that whole part where I know that his aunt, she was like not happy. He didn't really grow up in a great situation because his parents apparently were just tired of fighting the fight and they died. Don't understand what was going on there. They just died. And he was staying with the aunt who was kind of down on her luck and with really bad guys. And so, an abusive guy, actually. That guy was very abusive. Like, very...
Well, it looked like... abusive to Wade. It didn't look like he was necessarily... It looked like she had kind of control over him, the guy. But, like, he was, like, beating up on Wade. And I'm like, dude... That's not cool I mean, like, that dude. But, like, well, yeah. You know, as Kel said, I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude.
How does this
We're all dudes, hey.
I'm like, dude, chill out. That's what I've been like. Put your fist down.
But yeah, but I'm talking about her as a dude. Like, dude, you can't just like, you're not gonna you just letting this dude beat up on your nephew.
Yeah, and then the aunt, excuse me, she was just like, okay, I know you're like upset, but I'm like, this is your actual family. You're just letting your boyfriend beat up on your nephew. I know it's happened before. So I was just like, you're not going to say nothing? And you're just like, you messed up my chance to get a house. I was like, how is it my fault that he took my gloves and
no, I think she was talking to the boyfriend when she was saying that.
No, when she, like, in the end, when the boyfriend went somewhere and she was talking to him, and he was like, we should call the police on him. And she was like telling him, she's like, if you mess up my money, my stuff again, she's like, you're out. She was like saying that she was going to kick him out of the house.
Well, I thought that was about touching her stuff. She's like, take my stuff again, and you really will be out.
Okay, but it was touching.
Because he had taken her, like, whatever the gloves were.
Yeah, it was about touching her stuff. But I was just like, but this guy can just beat up on him without, like, it to me didn't seem like she was mad about that at all, or that this guy is terrible, you know? Anyway, but then this is the aunt. I know he's not, it's kind of like, I'm getting like Aunt Petunia and Dursley vibes from them, just a little bit, where, you know, Harry could, like, if they died, he wouldn't be upset. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, the way it happened, he's like, oh, they're dead, and it just kind of rolled on to the next part of the film, and I was like, wait a minute.
He didn't seem particularally heartbroken. He was just like, oh, it's you in real
That's
life.
what I'm saying.
Let me shoot my shot.
He cried about a video game creator, and he never shed one tear about his aunt that blew up tragically in a fire that consumed like his whole little neighborhood. I was like, what happened to the people he was talking to on the way down?
At no point do they like discuss it or anything. They're just are you okay? Wait, there was like none of that. It was just like
it just moved on to the next. I was like, wait, what?
I was so confused about it. I was like, I feel like this might be what's wrong with your world.
Yeah, those are the things that I didn't like, but I think it's because the author. So Ready Player One is actually based off of a book by Ernest Cline, and it was written like 9 years ago. And so he kind of was making predictions based off of a lot of stuff that was coming out about virtual reality. And we kind of talked about this a little bit in the Free Guy episode about how some people would prefer, like he was basically predicting how the lure of technology and virtual reality and people's desires to be and have what they don't and be what they are not would probably consume them to the point where they would want to be in a game forever and not live real life. And so he projected that in the future, this thing will be an actual widespread global thing. And so that's where we have this movie taking place. And so, but our main character plays the game. He's in the game. He doesn't have any other friends in the real world. He doesn't know them. He just has one friend in the game, and he just do stuff, you know? And then tell him about the little challenge that was in there that kind of catapults everything into motion.
So one of the creators of the game, there's only, by the time the movie is going, like, only one of them is involved with the game anymore because he had forced out his partner, who was also his only friend, out of his company. So the creator of the game dies, and he puts like this challenge out. He's like, I've made these 3 keys, and the 3 keys lead to an egg, and whoever gets the egg will like inherit all of the, what was the name of the game company?
Oasis, right?
No, that was the name of the game, but the company
Gregarious Games. Gregarious
Games. He's like, whoever gets the egg will become the sole proprietor of Gregarious Games.
Let's talk about how bold that is. Now ain't no like the state of the world presently.
Ain't nobody.
Yeah. Whitney, if that was not a more apt song, I don't know what is, because that's exactly what I was saying. I was like, ain't nobody gonna let this mess happen. Not in 2021. I
mean,
ain't no
people
corporation
can do what they want with their funds, though. You know,
no
people sometimes
gonna allow that BS,
like their fortune to their pets. So whoever,
that BS, yeah,
yeah. So I mean, you can do what you want with your money.
Oh my god, I was just like, but this is like a worldwide, like this thing makes buku money, and I was like, there's no way they allowed him to do this without some clause of control, and that's when you have the baddie. Ooh, I'm not gonna lie, I really disliked this person.
I really disliked him too.
Nolan.
I really also disliked
Finale.
She
was a biatch.
She was. But whatever the actress's name, she is good at playing a villain.
Yeah,
I mean, she was a very like empathetic villain in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but here she was just like a biatch. I was like, somebody get that bitch.
Yeah, she was just like, I'm waiting to come catch some folks.
Exactly.
To come fire on
I'm
some
like,
folks.
You really, I don't
to
know
snatch
how
up and take
old
their money.
How old do you think Wade was?
I'm thinking because I'm not gonna lie, I did listen to an interview Trevor Noah did with the author, because apparently Ready Player 2 came out this year, so there's a sequel book, not a movie, a sequel book. So we get to find out what happens after the end of this movie and story. But he was saying that he's still a teenager.
Okay.
So I'm assuming they're all teenage age except for that one that was actually a kid.
Which
11-year-old.
brings up another gripe. I'm like, so none of y'all got any school or anything?
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody got to go to school?
Kids are all in the game. Like, how do you even know how to count and stuff if y'all all just in the game 24/7? I don't know. That was the kind of sad thing to me, because I can understand this. I can see it happening. Honestly, it's not far-fetched, but at the same time, it's just like, wow. What happened to the state of the world that everyone just decides to, leave everything derelict and like retreat to some virtual reality because reality is so terrible? And then some points, with some scenes that we saw that were in the real world, I'm like, this spot don't look that bad.
I know those parts don't look
don't look
I
that
guess
bad.
for people who weren't like middle to upper class, it was pretty bad. Where it's like, okay,
that's why I wish I understood. I wish they had gone into that a little bit more, because I was like, I don't understand why the world is that way. That part just bothered me. Myself.
Yeah, he did like a quick synopsis at the beginning about like what happened to the world.
I'm not
but
gonna lie,
like,
I was so intrigued, but I wanted them to keep. I was like, no, go back to why the world is this way. Like, what happened? Because I don't see. I was like, the state of the people just living out of the cars, and like they're just be in the back of the car. Like, oh, wake up, no shower, no food, just like put the stuff on in the game. Like, what? Anyway.
Yeah, I was like, I really wanted to know more as it pertained to world building.
Maybe we have to read the book. I don't know.
Maybe, but I was just like, I feel like there were some blank spots for me.
Mm-hmm. Maybe if they started only in the game and not in the real world, but then that'll be dumb.
Yeah, because then there wouldn't be like actual stakes, because some of the Yeah.
Maybe I'm just saying, like, if they had started in the game world first and then went into the real world, because it started in the real world first. Mm-hmm. Like, you came out of it, and then you could, I see why people want to get in the game. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just, pulling at straws here. But I just needed more there for me, personally.
I did, too. I wanted more backstory, or to have a better understanding of what happened to the world.
And then I'm like, are the people just so far removed that like, finale was just like, I'm snatching folks up. She enjoyed causing people harm. I was
exactly. I'm like, that's why I wanted to know how old you thought Wade was, because I'm like, so you just gonna go and just kill this kid?
Yeah.
He's like, he's a kid.
They're teenagers.
You're just gonna go
all
kill
of them
him.
are teenagers. I think. Yeah. So that's what I thought.
But I was just like,
Anyway, let's talk about some of the good things. The story. This whole quest thing to find the 3 keys and playing, like, he embedded all these secret things in the game to where, first of all, I love the way they had, like, I guess the curator, who ended up being his best friend anyway, but the way they preserved... When
Bola says his best friend, she's not talking about Wade. She's talking about the creator of the game. Holiday.
His actual best friend who created the game with him, who is Ogden. He ended up being the curator. But I love how they preserved his memories and things, and how they were able to, in the game, go and look at that.
That was pretty cool. Which brings
journals.
me to, like, a thing that I'm wondering about. Because at the end of the movie, when he's, like, about to get the egg, he's gotten all the keys and he's in the world and about to be given the egg. And you see, like, this, digital representation of Holiday. And he's like, you're not an avatar, are you? And he's like, no. And he's like, what are you? And then he just leaves. He's like,
says goodbye. And I'm telling you, I do not know what he is.
Yeah, so I'm like, what
was he? And there was no conclusion.
At first, I thought he was Ogden.
I don't know if that's true either. And then there was a little kid version of him there too.
I didn't think so after we actually met Ogden, but at first that's who I thought he was. Like Ogden, like as a tribute to his dead friend who he missed.
I was like, are you a Horcrux or something? I was like, did you leave a bit of yourself in the game and kill somebody like Voldemort? I was like, how are you here? Oh man. But I liked how the video game, I liked that it was just the video game. I liked that everything looked like a video game. I liked that, as opposed to Free a Guy, which everything looked like the real world. I liked that for that movie, but I liked this for this movie.
Yeah.
So I liked how he looked. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I bet you it was like a lot of voiceover work they had to do, or maybe they made them wear those motion capture outfits. Because I was wondering, because there was most of the movie I think is in the game.
Yeah, I would agree. So
either that just took a lot of effects and voiceover work, or they had to do all the physical things with those motion capture, because everybody just looked like a video game, and I was just like, man, this is a lot of work. But it looked great. I'm not gonna lie.
It did. It was really cool. I really, like you said, I liked the whole quest vibe. It's very Odyssey-like, these 3 trials to get to the end.
And it honestly, it just reminded you of a video game, and kind of like the ones you like to do.
Yeah, actually.
Where it's just like a little quest you can just go by yourself and figure it out, you know.
And they had so many, in addition to like the Iron Giant, you saw like characters from Halo in there. You saw, what's his name? Prince something from Mortal Kombat, the one with all the arms, because she was like Artemis. She had actually put on a disguise as him for a second when she dragged, like, you just can't go around as yourself.
when he finally got,
and they had like Mecha Godzilla,
and Kong.
They had like a freaking T-Rex, who I think was supposed to be like an ode to like Jurassic Park. They had freaking King, like you said, Kong in there, and like
There's so much stuff. So the nostalgia theme is very strong in there.
Oh my God, yes. That was
and I
like
think
a lot of what
Spielberg,
made the movie.
who directed it, was really going for that. So I think they put all those elements in there. Because even I was like, I'm telling you, when they had that giant there, I was like, oh my God, the Iron Giant. I remember that movie.
Yes.
I totally forgot about that.
I forgot about that. And I can't even remember a lot about the premise of the Iron Giant, but I remember that I loved it, though.
I remember liking the movie as well.
Yeah. I need to rewatch that.
And then I liked that. Well, the only thing I didn't get was like, I didn't know how our main guy, Wade, knew so much about the creator, because it was like he was the only one to figure it out.
He was a fanboy, and they had the in-game library. Anybody could access that library in the game.
Yeah, I understand that, but it was like he even said that after he died, like 5 years, nobody like could figure it out, so nobody tried. I mean, they had that one group of people
that worked for IOI.
Yeah, worked for IOI, and they were like smart kids, or like
well,
kids.
they were not only smart kids, but they were particularly experts on Holiday, is what he said. So they specifically recruited people who they knew were like, I guess really into Holiday. Because
but they had to be experts of other stuff too, because there was some other elements for the 3 quest parts that you had to know some stuff about.
The 3 quest parts were all based off of Holiday. They were all things that Holiday really liked. So if they knew enough about Holiday, then they would know about the stuff he liked.
Yeah, because that whole thing about going backwards in the game for the race, that mess was crazy. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I still think my favorite challenge is the first one. I just loved how that whole thing, because you saw that whole, like, I love watching racing games. So I really liked the first challenge. I was like, oh, this is sweet. This is sweet. Then I love how he was just going underneath, and just looking. And I was like, even Kong, because
that was pretty cool seeing everything. Cool. Like, you could actually still see all of the stuff going on.
And then he just like, popped up, and he's like, in your face.
Shortcut.
That was great. And I liked that he was like the first one to figure it out. He was the only one. And then he told his friends, and everyone was trying. But can you talk about the second one, please?
She was really, Artemis was the catalyst for him figuring it out.
That's
because
true.
What she said about Holiday hated rules. And he was like, he hated rules. Let me go back and take a look at this.
Yeah.
And he's like,
oh yeah, the love interest. I really did like her. I liked Artemis
I really liked her. I just didn't see. I honestly didn't see on film the development of the love story. Is what
not
I had
as much. They were so focused on. It was there, but they were just so focused on like solving this issue.
And I mean, I had no problem with the solve. I mean, it's just that for me, it was like you could have just like. Anyway. Here's my theory. My theory, like, to me, these people are all kind of like repressed. Oh, thank you. These people are like kind of repressed, and like I feel like they are socially inept. They don't know how to deal with other people as much because they're always in the game. That is like why Holiday said he developed that, where he was like, I always felt like I wasn't didn't fit in the real world. It was so hard to connect.
But I get it.
And it makes sense. Like when you heard him talk about like his date with the girl with his best friend. He's like, his best friend was like, all right, so tell me about it. He's like, yeah. So she told me that she really liked dancing. So we went and saw a movie.
I was like, dude, what happened? And then he didn't kiss the girl. Whoa.
Sha-la-la-la-la, my oh my, look like the boy too shy, ain't gonna kiss the girl.
I know, it was so terrible. I was like, so you just didn't go for it.
Miss the girl.
And because I bet he had some, I feel like he had some social anxiety issues and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
So I bet you he really wanted to, and he was in love with her. It was so sad that the creator was in love with this woman. And then his best friend, the co-creator, got the girl because he was able to go for it.
Yeah, he didn't even like shoot a shot.
Yeah, he didn't try.
Like he missed his shot. So I guess it was interesting to me because I didn't feel like Holiday was bitter at his friend over it.
He was mad at himself.
He was mad. Yeah, exactly, mad at himself because he's like, I didn't take the chance. I didn't try to kiss her, so she like moved on. So my friend was like, oh, okay.
I think he regretted many things. Yeah, he regretted what he did with his friend the most. I think. But let's go to that whole thing. That premise, Kira was the main issue for like the main kind of goal of the second task. But can we go to the Shining and stuff?
Oh my God, I loved that. That was actually my favorite.
This was my
least favorite that Bola would
section.
not. even know probably what a lot of it was. Because
pray to Jesus.
She's not even going to know what half of these references are
I
to.
pray to Jesus because I was like, what is going on? Old lady.
Bola was exactly like lady. H. She was like, she's not going to know.
Naked old lady.
She's not going to know what any of these things are.
And there was like a sea of blood.
And the little girls were like, come play with us, Daddy. And H is like, little girls, do you know the way out? And I'm like, no, don't follow the creepy little girls. It's like, oh, man, you have not seen The Shining, so you don't know what's about to be. And then he was in, what was it, room 257?
237.
237, yeah. Room 237, which anyone who's seen The Shining knows what's in store if you go in that room.
Was it that lady?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's gross.
And it's like, no! Why have you not watched this movie, H? You are so bad.
I would never have left the group. I would be like, nah, y'all tell me what to do because I don't want to see none of this BS. Oh my God, I'm telling you, that whole section I would have to bypass.
Though. I'm like, they had so many, I felt almost like Free Guy. It's like, how did you get the rights to so much stuff?
Did you know that Stephen King did not like that movie? Because remember, there was a part in the movie that the creator didn't like his creation, and then they said that was the one movie that they made that Stephen King didn't even like that movie.
I think I had heard that Stephen King didn't like that,
but everyone loves The Shining.
Yeah, I think it's really good. Though they did another version of The Shining years later. It was like when it came out near when we were in college. But it was more like a mini series, and I liked that. I think a little bit better, but I think it was because since it was a mini series, it was longer,
expandable,
so you could put more into it. Which, I mean, I still love the original Shining, classic guys. But like the
was
ability
there Sea of Blood there?
Yes.
Oh my God, so nasty! But the old lady,
it was a lot of it was like, not actually there because they're ghosts. So there wasn't an actual Sea of Blood, but
they made it look like there was, and because
of the ghosts and stuff like that would like make these things. They were driving Jack Nicholson's character crazy.
The zombie lady.
She wasn't a zombie. She was a ghost.
Oh my gosh, it was so gross.
H kept saying zombie because H had never watched the freaking Shining to know that she was a ghost.
Because she looked all creepy and oh Lord,
she was
I had to cover my eyes. I had to cover my eyes. I was like, what devil thing is this?
And then being out in the maze, I was like, this is awesome because it's like such an homage. It's like
I thought of Harry Potter, Goblet of Fire, because that's my idea of a maze. But I know that The Shining does have a maze section in it, so I was like, okay. But I was covering that whole section. I have to skip if I watch this movie.
And
again.
That was like my favorite part because it had so many awesome Shining references. I was
Can we skip all that and go to the part where the zombies were dancing on an elevated plane?
Ghosts. They were ghosts, not zombies.
Okay, the ghosts, they look like zombies. Were dancing, and then it was like...
Because ghosts are dead. Some of them look like what they're all riding.
Okay, fine. You're going to fight about this.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Okay.
But I liked how that whole thing was about him going for the shot. So it's like you have to save the game version of Kira. Not save, but like get to her.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that was really deep. Like, I was like, I liked that, but even though it was creepy, the way to get there was scary. But I liked that whole part where she was jumping from guy to like, that was kind of cool, actually.
And you know what? It's really interesting because now that I'm like reflecting on it, because at the very beginning of the game, when Holiday is telling people like the terms of the game, and he's like, it starts here and taps his head. It's like it really is his all mind. Of this like being inside of his head, like these things, his hopes, his dreams, his regrets, like all of this stuff, like just kind of how.
I'm gonna fail if I try. I'm gonna fail because I'm just like I don't know anyone that well, like. I guess unless everything is out there for them, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the people that I really, really like that I really, really, really look into, like Trevor Noah and J.K. Rowling and Ben Barnes and Chimamanda. Some of these people that I do know their life story that I look into, I read about them. Maybe, Michael Jackson, all those kind of people that I'm like, yeah, I know a lot about them. But I'm like, if this kind of thing was set up about them, would I be such a super fan that I could do this? I don't know. I really don't, because I had to give Wade props for all the kids. Here's the one thing I did not understand about the game. I thought it was only one key, one person could get it. But then his friends end up getting copies of the keys too. So I was like, I don't understand.
I did because if you think about it, it makes sense.
Is it like just the video game then? Like, how you can play the video game and then someone else can play and they can get on the scoreboard.
And it makes sense, like, if you think about it, even in the video game world, because if you have to, in order to get the egg, you needed to have 3 keys. So if a different person gets each key, then no one could ever get the egg because, like, one person wouldn't have all 3.
No. I thought that only one person can get it. So it's like, I thought if Lord, now I forgot his name. Parzival. If Parzival was the one that got it, it's like only he can play the game and get it. That's what I thought.
No, because if you think about it, it might never be solved if it worked that way.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because if he got one, but someone else figured out how to get because you didn't have to go in order.
Oh, okay. You just had to be, somebody had to get all 3.
Yeah, it's just that someone had figured out where the first one was, so that's why everyone kept doing that one, because nobody knew what the other 2 what the other 2 were. But once you got the first one, you got a clue to another one. But you could have done it, like, I feel like you could have done it in any order in order to get all 3 keys. So if someone had figured out what, like, the second one is and done that first, then you might have one person like Parzival with the first key, another person with the second key, so then nobody would be able to.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, that makes sense because I just thought I think I heard it wrong. So, so then the third one was very interesting because then between the second game for the key and the third one, so many other things were happening. By that time, like, his aunt had died in the fire. The IOI were getting involved. Nolan, who's a bitch ass, I can't stand him.
Kidnapped Samantha.
Yeah, and I was just like, I forgot her name was Samantha.
You know what? I forgot that I knew her name was Samantha until that second.
I was just like, Artemis. I was like, there were so many things going on in the middle part, and I was like, wait a minute. You're supposed to be playing this game. To interrupt
for a sec, I loved the reveal to find out that H was
a black girl. I knew she was black because of the voice.
Yeah, I figured that out, but find out that was a black woman.
Yeah, that was a good reveal. That's Lena Waithe.
Okay, I didn't know her name. I had seen her and stuff, but I don't think I had actually seen any movies or TV shows with her and watched it in her. But I've never seen
Master of None with her and the Indian dude.
I've never actually watched the show.
Okay, that's why.
But I've seen like previews with her in it, so I recognized her from that and stuff like that.
I've seen her in little stuff here and there too, because she popped up different places.
Yeah, but I was like, oh my god, that's so cool.
I think I saw her on an episode of Insecure too.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've seen her in a bunch of stuff, and I just know who she is because she be doing stuff. Lena Waithe, hey. But yeah, that last one, I like that it was a fight for the game. So there's this whole thing about Nolan. He's trying to. That's why he has the IOI set up anyway, because they were like, we need to get the rights, because I think the whole time he was working with them.
I'm gonna make it just cut in for a second. I don't feel like that's why the IOI was set up. I feel like he wanted to make his own thing. And the IOI, like, after he wasn't an intern at Gregarious Games, that he had made his own thing. But I feel like he started pushing all his resources towards the game because that was going to put him on top. But I feel like it was his own. He had developed it to be its own thing before, but he just started putting all its resources.
You could tell he had no love for the game or game creation, because even in the memory, you saw him as a youngin'. You know, and then he was like pitching all this marketing stuff to Holiday. And Holiday's like, he literally ignores him. He's like, thanks for my coffee.
I'm not even gonna say like marketing, because marketing isn't necessarily bad, but just like this really
money stuff.
Just really stuff. Like money at the forefront to the detriment of the customer experience.
Yeah,
stuff.
That kind of stuff. And then it even like, I remember in the beginning, in the middle somewhere, he was talking about how they want to put
ads. We can fill up 80 to 90% of the players' vision with ads.
I was like, what the? So he's just like business, money only minded, and that's where I make the comparison between him and Antoine.
Oh yeah,
yeah, from Free Guy, because I was like, yeah, if you look at it, he was not concerned about the view.
He was
more about his money, not the experience of the gamers. Exactly, and it's just not right. It's just not right. I hated Nolan. Let's talk about the villain. I didn't even mind Finale that much, because she was just gonna be what she was gonna be, but no, he was just a punk.
Because it's all about the he was like the person behind pulling strings. She was she was a lackey. She was the muscle.
Yes, even his avatar was just so ugly. Like just
talking about the bad guys now, I really kind of want to know who his henchman was in the real world. You know, the guy who was all like built up.
Yeah,
and stuff.
we don't know who he is. I know who the actor is. He's a famous red. There's always a redheaded comedian guy, but I just wish we knew who he was in the game.
I would have liked to have known that too.
I don't think anyone was supposed to find out.
Oh, I know what it was. iRock.
Mm-hmm. That's what he named himself because he's like, I am the person that rocks. Yeah. So I was like, wow, that's not conceited at all. But I was just like, remember, even iRock had reverence for the game, even because you remember the orb that they were using to put a force field around so that nobody else could play, which I thought was so messed up.
Yeah.
And he was like the sphere of whatever,
the
orb of Ossivus, and he was like, "Stop saying that."
Say a magic spell to activate it.
Yeah, so he was still a game. He was enjoying it, and then the other guy, Nolan, was just like, "Whatever, just give it to me." You know what I mean? I was just like, "You don't even you're not even a game. You don't have no love for gaming and the people that play." I was just like, he was a punk to me the whole time. I couldn't stand him.
He was a punk.
Yeah, I couldn't stand him. And then he tried to do some stuff, and then they put a gun to him. And he just like a little cat. You know what I mean? I was like, not even a cat, because at least cats might like growl at you or flash their teeth. But he was just like, I can't be harmed. You know? And I was like, oh man, he was just a punk. I couldn't stand him. I hate when the villains are like weak. I feel like if Finale was him, she'd be like evil. Like be like, oh yeah, this a villain. Like, you know? But I'm glad he got his comeuppance in the end, and I love the way he got his comeuppance in that suit that they had.
You will rue the day.
You know how they had the suit, extra suits where you could actually feel. Mm-hmm. So it's like a more
Oh yeah, I love that nut shot.
Yes, exactly. He got kicked right there, and he could feel, and he was like, "Oh!" And I'm like, "That's what you get." I could not stand him. I think he got what he deserved in the end. But I love the speech that Wade gave to encourage the rest of the world to join him in fighting for the game, because they didn't want the IOI to take over it, because they would ruin it for them.
Exactly.
You know? And that's kind of an interesting point about, you know, what these big businesses are doing as opposed to what the people want. Mm-hmm. I was saying that kind of thing is also a little bit in Free Guy too, but Whitney was like, I don't have anything to say about that. So I was like, okay, let's not talk about it. But you can see it more here. And I think because I watched the interview with Trevor and the author of the books, since Ready Player 2 is coming out, that they are really going to go into that more, because now Wade and his friends and Sam and H and all of them, they are now the owners. They got billions of dollars now. They're the owners of these games. They've made but that's going to have some repercussions. You know, there's going to have some issues. Like, how is he going to deal with that? And especially since he's actually supposed to be a teenager.
Yeah,
there's a lot of power for teenagers.
Exactly, and we see things go so well when you give teenagers or young adults lots and lots of money when they've had none.
Says every Disney star, every Nickelodeon kid.
Or person who wins the lottery and is broke 2 years later.
Yes. So that would be the interesting thing to me, that I would want to maybe look into the books and see what is Wade gonna do?
I am most interested from a sequel standpoint of finding out what the answer to the question was about what the avatar was, because he was like, are you an avatar?
Are they gonna answer it?
I hope so, because that was for me what was most intriguing.
I wonder if that answer's in the book. I bet you if I Google that last answer on one of those film analysis YouTube accounts will explain it to you, just like they do with the what's that movie that Christopher Nolan did that everybody loves?
Inception?
Yes. Like they did with the spinning thing at the top where everyone's like, nah, he got out the game. Everybody got out. That thing didn't fall down. And so they have that whole explanation thing. I felt like I could find it and see what people thought. Yeah. But I'm not sure what he was either. So I'm still on the Horcrux thing. Yeah. So what were some other good things you saw in the game? Like what it's not a game, it's actually a movie, but the third task. I don't remember that game that they were playing.
Yeah,
but apparently it's a real game.
Yeah, I'm not old enough to have been playing the Atari. Like when I started gaming,
Nickelodeon. I mean,
it
not
was
Nickelodeon,
like
Nintendo.
Well, the NES was out, but I was actually playing the Super NES. I never had the original Nintendo. I started with the Super Nintendo, so anything before that, I didn't really play. So I didn't play any original Nintendo, no Atari games, so I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, but I thought it was cool that they actually put that real thing in there, and the Easter egg thing was. I was like, so that's where we get Easter eggs from? That's really cool. So you could tell the author did some video game research, but he actually was a gamer too. Because I remember in the interview I had listened to. I did send it to you, but since you hadn't finished watching, it's better that you didn't watch. It's better that you didn't watch the clip. He talked about Trevor was actually thanking him, the author, because the author's white, but he was thanking him for putting people of color in the movie. I mean, not that Klein had anything to do with the casting and stuff, but I'm sure he might have had some voice. But his books and his movies have people of color, and he was like, he felt like after he watched the film the first time, that he was like, wow, finally we get some representation of people that actually game that are people of color. Because it's like, he was like, he even said it, which is kind of true, how a lot of fantasy sci-fi stuff always have like aliens, but most of the time you're always seeing white people just be the main protagonists. And he was like, finally put some other people in there so we can see that, you know, everybody games, everybody's in there. And he liked the inclusivity. Yeah. And I thought that was cool too. That's why I loved H. I was like, yes, I love that too. My girl.
Not only because we kind of knew from the voice that
it was
like,
a black person.
It was a black person.
I just thought it might have been a guy.
Finding out that it was a woman, it was like, oh, that's awesome.
And it was her too. So I was like, oh, big up. And I liked the little two Asians. One was Japanese, one was like a little 11-year-old kid.
Well, that was their end game.
I don't. Toshiro, I think, was one, and
well, his end game was Sho, but I can't remember what he said his real name was. It sounded just like
it sounded kind of like Sho, like Zhao.
No.
Forgive us.
Sorry.
But we loved their characters as well. They were a good team. And I like that he spread the wealth with the team. Yeah. And he was like, oh, no, it's not just going to be me. It's going to be all of us together.
Because no one of them could have just gotten there on their own. No. It really did take all
They really
of them.
did. There was a lot going on. Like, there were some great action sequences. I loved the whole time when Samantha got kidnapped. I actually really loved that sequence. And that's kind of where the movie was, like, picking up really well for me. Like, where I was like, I was kind of sleepy when I was watching it, but I really did enjoy them. I did enjoy the movie. But that part was picking up to me. It was like, I was like, how are they gonna get her out?
Clever that was, because I'm like, I was like, how did y'all get into this multi-billion-dollar corporation's headquarters? And then you find out that they basically like hacked his like
that was brilliant.
To make it look like.
And this is why I hate Nolan. That's why I'm like, he's a punk. He don't know nothing about gaming or tech, because he literally had his password written on a little sticky right on the chair, and I'm like, that is just dumb. Like, why would you do that? So they knew what to do. The kids are like, oh, this is his password. His password is blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, it's written right there. So it was so dumb. I hated him. I just wish they could just get him out. Like, that was my main thing. I guess he was supposed to be annoying anyway, but he was triple annoying, and I just hated his character so much.
So big ups to the actor for doing a good job of making him hateable.
Yes, because he really was. And in finale, she was just stone
sinister.
Cold. She was stone cold. Like,
yeah.
Not even she didn't blink. Like, to do whatever she needed to do. She was like, even at times she was just like, you're supposed to be a man. Do it. Be a man. Do some stuff.
And then
just
give it to me. I'll do it. Like being taken away in the cop car. No one's like, listen to me very carefully. She just punches them in the face.
She was a G, I'm telling you.
Yeah, she was.
And then she went up in there and grabbed the kids herself. She was like, it took all of them to take her down. Like, it really did. Because she was like, now I'm up in here. And I can fight. I can fight all y'all kids. And then she didn't mind hitting kids. That's why I was like, yo, this is an 11-year-old. And you fighting an 11-year-old right now? She did not care who it was.
She really did not.
She was heartless.
How could you be so heartless?
Right? How could you be so heartless? Anyway, but big ups to her, because she did a good job, because she's so like cool and pretty and slow, and then you just like but so mean, so evil inside.
I'm trying to think of the first place I ever saw her, because there was this sci-fi TV show that she was on, and she was like the main girl in that.
Not gonna lie, the first place I saw her,
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the second place I saw her. But no, she was in another TV show, sci-fi TV show. And was
Is it a British one? Because she is a British actress.
No. It was just.
There was a couple of British actors in that. The girl that played Artemis was
Sean
British
Ashmore
too.
or Aaron Ashmore. I can't remember which one of the Ashmores it was that she was on.
The guy that played Og was British as well.
Ogden?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen Shaun of the Dead?
I have not. I've heard of it, but I've never actually
he's the main guy from that. I've not seen it because I don't do zombies.
Must have been Aaron Ashmore then.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to find her based off of him to find what the name of this show. I don't know why I cannot think of the name. It's like on the tip of my brain.
Yeah. Well, while she's looking for that, I'm just going to do like a little wrap up. So my main impression, I really liked the movie.
Killjoys. That was the TV show on Sci-Fi. She's the main girl in Killjoys.
Okay. That title does look familiar. Or sound familiar to me, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch any sci-fi shows, you would have seen, like, trailers and whatnot for it.
But, okay, so let's wrap up what our final thoughts are about this movie and the ending and everything. I really loved how it ended, except for not knowing why he was there and what form he was.
Yeah, but I feel like that was a nice little intriguing point.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we're not meant to know, just like Christopher Nolan did with Inception.
I feel like since he's put out Ready Player 2, we might find out if they make another.
If they make another one, movie, Spielberg might be like, "I'm over it," because Spielberg did it, and I was surprised. I didn't even know he did it, but he did. He directed, excuse me. But who knows? We'll see. I know the book just came out this year, so anything they're gonna do is gonna come out like in 2 years or so, if they are gonna ever do one. So we probably will just have to read the book. Yeah.
What would you give it?
I give this movie a solid 7 glasses.
I'm gonna give it a solid 8 glasses.
Okay. I was teetering between 7.5, like 7 glasses and a monocle, but I just let me keep it. It's only because of those few things that I was like, nah. I need this to be a little bit better. And then like some of the elements like with the love story not being developed, the characters like the aunt and stuff, all that back stuff that was like in the beginning that kind of had me like not really feeling the movie in the beginning. I was just like, what is this? So I was like, I'll give it a shot. I'm gonna keep going. But those things were bugging me because they never got into them. And so I have some qualms. We're not giving a 10 this time, okay? But this movie's honestly, it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah,
I like that they attempted something like this, especially at that time. I mean, just a couple years ago, but I liked the movie.
Really cool.
It was cool. It was nice and going down memory lane.
Oh my God, yes, that was the best part that I think made my rating so high. I was like, so much nostalgia.
Yeah, and so I give it a 7 glasses. So I think it was worth a watch, y'all.
Yeah, y'all should check it out. So it is currently August 2021, and it is currently on HBO Max.
Yeah, so stream that, y'all. Stream that.
If you're listening to this months or years in the future, it might have switched because it was on Hulu at one point, but by the time we watched it, it was only on
HBO Max.
But if you're listening to this episode pretty recently after the release, it should be on HBO Max.
Yeah, and also just wrapping up the whole video game thing, we loved how we got to see this whole idea of infusing video game elements into movies, films, life, how that would look. It's a very good discussion about tech and all that kind of stuff. I just really enjoyed the meshing and the mashup, because I love a good mashup in music. So this is like a nice mashup for this month. And so you guys keep gaming and watching the movies. Watch Free Guy if you haven't, and watch Ready Player One. There's some other ones we mentioned in our other episode too. And then, just let us know what you thought about it.
Yeah,
guys. Hey. All right, so we are going to be going out now.
All right. Blerding.
Blerd out. Bye. Have a great week.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Please subscribe to our show on whatever podcast listening app you use and share the show with other Blerds and non-Blerd family and friends. And if you like our episode, please rate and review us on iTunes.
The intro and outro music is Twilight by Caption. You can find them on SoundCloud, username Captions. spelled CAPSHUN. The show notes are by Bola, Hanson, and the audio engineering is by Whitney Booker.
And you can contact us by email at blerdtalkbw@gmail.com. And also, don't forget to get social, you guys. You can find us on our social media at Instagram and Twitter, with our @handle being @BlerdTalkBW. And we've got our individual things going on too, y'all. So you can find me, your Blerd Fashionista, on Instagram and Twitter at BolaStoryB. That's B with 2 E's like the insect. And I've got my own personal YouTube channel, just Bola Sade. That's BOLASHADE. D as in dog, E as in elephant.
And this is Whitney. You can find me at my company, Luminavi Studios. The email address is wit@luminavi.com. That's WHIT@LUMENAVI.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Luminavi Studios.